How to create a radio advertisement? Very good question. This is especially important because 98% of the ads on the radio are terrible. And it doesn't take much to get you out of that big, massive, sucking majority and into the last 2% that will skyrocket your business. And we're going to address those key elements that make your ad sound like everybody else and catapult over the competition and bury them and make a great connection to your clients. You ready? Let's do this. By the end of this video, you'll be able to focus on the key elements that make for a great radio commercial. And I'm also going to help you sketch out the flow of your next commercial and show you the components step by step on how they come together to make a great ad. So let's dive in. First and foremost, and this is true for any advertising, but for some reason I hear it so much more on the radio and on TV than anything else. It sticks out like a sore thumb, makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck. Your advertising, all advertising and marketing, is about your customer. It's not about the store, it's not about the business, it's not about the services or the products that you're selling. It's about your customer. What is their life before they got involved with, say, your particular product or service, compared to what does their life look like now that they have it in their life? That's what we're looking at, the big transformation that your product or service has brought through in their lives. This is the key angle to look at everything. So many times I hear radio ads, and you probably hear it too, we have this, we have this, we have this. We all the way home, okay? It's not about you. And that's actually a good test. How many times do you say I, we, or you know what's even better? They. Because when you have your language switch to the word they, talking about your business or your company, that sounds like an endorsement. That sounds like a friend is talking to the listener and the friend is saying, hey, you need to go check these guys out. They really saved me when it came to whatever the case may be. So it's almost like an implied endorsement. It's much easier to hear. So if you write it in third person, and whenever you reference the company, your business, say they do this, they do this, they do that, now you're starting to cook with gas. And remember, your ideal customer, your avatar, is the hero of the commercial. There are so many times, for instance, let's take a look at television. All these shows about, like, Everybody Loves Raymond, or all the other shows that have the dad as the central figure, 9 times out of 10, the dad's the idiot. The dad's the joke. The dad's the one who, like, really is the comic relief to the entire family. Mom runs the family, right? Well, we don't want your customers or clients to relate to the oaf in the ad. We want your customers or clients to be the hero in the ad. They discovered what they needed, it now all worked out, and their lives are doing great. There is a series of ads, and fortunately I only get used as one of the voices, that talk about, there's no other better way to say it than hillbillies. There are 2 hillbillies that are talking about their financial future. Of course, there's a slight misunderstanding in some of the language, but they always do get it right, and then it goes into the message from the bank. Well, I'm sorry, but the country bumpkin hillbillies that are kind of right, kind of wrong, that's not your customer. Do not make that type of character, whether it's, if they're slightly off, if they're the cartoon, if they're the comic relief, that's not your customer. Make your customer the hero of the commercial, or make it so your customer can relate to the hero, or they see themselves in the hero of the commercial. That's the best position to put your customer in. Now, some of the better elements to focus on is, and this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. I know a lot of people are going to say, what? You want to focus on one thing that you're selling. Just one thing in the ad is going to be focused on this message. I know a lot of people freak out over something like that. They're like, but, you know, we're a restaurant. We have, like, steak night on Tuesday and pasta night on Wednesday, and we got ladies night on Friday and live bands on Saturday and Sunday. I want all that in there. No. Okay? Just no. That's way too confusing, and especially if you've got a 30-second ad, it's not much better in a 60. In a 60, you're really going to confuse people, but in a 30-second ad, that's just way too rapid fire, trying to cover way too much ground. First of all, you've got a headline. That's going to take up 2 or 3 seconds at the beginning. Then you've got your call to action and possibly some type of a locator, descriptor, or something like that at the end. There's another 5 seconds. You mean to tell me that you're going to be able to list 5, 6, 7, 8 things in the 22 seconds that are left over? Not going to happen. My rule is, if it's worth a mention, it deserves the attention. In other words, if you're going to simply say, oh, and we've got ladies' night on Friday night, if it's important enough to mention it, ladies' night on Friday night really does deserve its own commercial. And you can work that out in the schedule with your rep and work out which ones are we going to advertise leading up to certain days. If you want to advertise steak night on Monday, fine, have that run starting Friday afternoon, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and during the daytime on Monday. And then the ladies' night Friday ad, that can run Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday during the day, and then cut it off at 7 o'clock at night. See how that works? And you've still got all that coverage you're building up to each one of those events, and it still mentions you and the two most important things. You've got ladies' night and steak night. You're both covered. And one of the most important elements is, what is the goal of your commercial? Now, too many people will say, oh, I just want to make sure everybody knows. Okay? And of all the people who know, are they showing up? No. What you want is, and I'm going to say this for you, you want sales, right? If you were to give me $5,000 and I just became aware of what you do, would you be happy? Absolutely not. You want me to tell all my friends, get us all together, come over and be at your place of business and start spending money, right? That's what we hope to do with your radio commercials. Ultimately, get people through the door. Ultimately, people get them on the phone or on your website, ordering, calling, paying, picking something up, getting something, and making that cash register ring. That's the ultimate goal, right? That's what I thought. And of course, always make an offer at the end, whatever it may be. If you want to talk about schedule early for a discount, or place your order now and be one of the first ones to get delivered, whatever the offer may be. Maybe it's a percentage off, maybe it's a BOGO offer, maybe it's a pick it up now and save later, whatever the case may be, always have an offer in every single commercial. Now, this is the kind of stuff that we do all the time here at this channel. We also cover not only radio commercials, but all the other things, audio and video, that help with marketing your business. Maybe a YouTube channel is in your future to help you gain some organic growth and bring in customers to you instead of you chasing customers. How's that sound? Good. Like and subscribe and you won't miss any of the topics or the tips or the tricks that we go over here. Now, some other key elements that you want to be sure to build into your commercial: emotion versus logic. Emotion is what draws people in. We tell stories with emotion. We get connected through emotion. Emotion, quite frankly, is how we buy. We justify our purchase after the sale with logic. We buy, say, a brand new car because it looks good in the driveway. We buy a brand new boat because my brand new boat is going to be 2.5 feet bigger than my neighbor's boat. That's why we buy a boat, okay? Now we justify it afterwards by saying, we got a great interest rate, amazing payments, they knocked $4,000 off the price just by walking in the door. All of those are logical reasons that we justify the purchase after the sale. And I'm sure you've heard this term, features and benefits, right? You want to focus on the benefits. The features are the facts of whatever product or service it is. For example, rack and pinion steering, okay? The benefit is tighter handling and better control in the corners. That's the benefit. You want to focus on the benefit. Feel free to mention the feature, but you could say, you know, with updated engineering, the handling is so much better than previous vehicles. Anything like that, you don't necessarily have to even mention rack and pinion steering. But that's the difference. Facts versus how does that make you feel? How does it operate better? What is the purpose behind that fact? And at the end, a call to action, something to make people do what it is you want them to do. For example, we were talking about the goals earlier. If you want people to come in and make a purchase, they have to walk in, get it off the shelf, and walk up to the cash register. Then you're going to want to give your location. Say, come on in today and get yours. If you want them to order online, go online. Go to our website and get yours today. It'll be delivered in a week. Something as simple as that. Tell them what the next step is. Don't ever imply it. Spell it out and make sure they know exactly what they need to do to achieve it. And one of the biggest things you can do is get rid of cliches. We've all heard, for all your blank needs. If the only word is difference between pizza and dry cleaning, how much different could it possibly be? Your business is unique. Don't ever shortchange yourself. Your business is unique, and using cliches just does not lend itself to that. We treat you like family. Oh, You're going to borrow $100 at Thanksgiving and I'll never see it, you'll never pay it back? Is that what you're saying? Little stuff like that. Just friendly, knowledgeable staff, as opposed to the stupid idiots that are down at the other store, you mean? No, everybody's got a friendly, knowledgeable staff. Everybody has convenient parking. Everybody, please, that's table stakes. That's the basics that you come to business with, is a friendly, knowledgeable staff. What sets you apart? That's what we want to focus on. And we also want to focus on how you are going to make a difference, how you or your business or your company or your products or services is going to make a difference in your client's life. And finally, here's a quick little tip to help you get into the mind of the listener. If you do give a location, if part of your call to action is a location, you want to start from the largest element and work your way to the smallest. In other words, go city, street, locator. So it's my little store in Greensburg, 123 Main Street, right across from the post office. Think of it as if you're zooming in on Google Maps. You're going from bigger to smaller to smaller. A lot of people will say 123 Main Street in Greensburg. Well, 123 Main Street is probably in every town on the map. And a lot of 123 Main Streets in the broadcast area of the radio station. I mean, we're talking anywhere between 10 to 45, maybe even 60-mile broadcast radius. How many main streets are in a 60-mile radius? Quite a few. So start with the biggest, the city, then go down to the street, then some type of a landmark or something, and you will draw the listener's mind into exactly where you are. Now, I've got a free gift for you. You can grab this down below. There's a link in the description. It is your complete guide to writing your next radio commercial. We do even more of a deep dive than what we just did here in this video, and you will learn step by step all the questions you need to ask, how you need to craft the ad, and put it all together so you finally have a script that you can either hand to the radio station and have them produce it, or maybe even record it yourself. Who knows? Just make sure you hit 30 or 60, okay? Be sure to hit that time. Can't be longer, can't be shorter. But other than that, grab your copy down below with the link in the description. I'm Nick Natarella with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.